Hello and welcome to Techiechap. Today we're going to be taking a look at Zorin OS 16.1 Professional Edition. I've been running it for a few days and I have it installed on my Dell XPS test laptop. Let's find out how I got on after the intro. Welcome back. So here we are, Zorin OS 16.1, and we are looking at the intro screen that greets you when you first boot into Zorin. So there's some really nice features to the intro screen, or the launcher as they call it in Zorin OS, and it kind of introduces you to some of the main features of this operating system. One of the nice things about it is that it comes ready-made to connect to your online accounts. So that's Google, Microsoft, it'll connect to any of them. It also has an application called Zorin Connect, which you can download from the Play Store and essentially connect your mobile phone, a bit like KDE Connect, to your installation. So you can see things like messages and notifications on your desktop. So let's have a look at what we got here when we install Zorin, and let's take a look at the Zorin Appearance app. So the Zorin Appearance app, it comes fully loaded with Professional Edition. The Professional Edition is £39, and you have to pay a tax on that as well if you're purchasing from the UK. So it works out something like £49 or something like that for the total cost for Zorin Pro. In terms of what you get with Zorin Pro, you get extra themes essentially, which I'm just showing you there. They have quite a good selection of themes. Just to point out, there is also a Zorin Core as well, which basically has a lot less themes and next to no applications bundled in. With Zorin Pro, you get an awful lot of applications bundled in. In fact, even for a new Linux user or someone who is used to only using a certain amount of applications in Linux, it's quite a good introduction to some of the other applications that are out there, and they're certainly really well curated. So as we're looking through the different themes, it's really nice that these themes you can just change like this without fiddling around too much. But it's nice that they've made it so simple just via the wizard to change your theme. I quite like the Mac OS theme, which is only coming with the Professional Edition, although of course you can download the Core Edition and get things like GNOME tweaks and essentially do more or less the same thing yourself. But this makes it nice and easy. Okay, so looking at the applications that come with Zorin Pro, Zorin Pro has so many applications loaded up with it. It's as I say, it's a really good introduction. I certainly found some applications that I hadn't used before, and it was nice to be able to try them out on this Zorin Pro 16.1. As we go through the appearance menu, you can also see that you can change the accent color, which then also changes the color of the folder, which is really nice. I kind of prefer the blue, and I also like dark theme. And as you can see, when you click on dark theme there, it changes everything. It changes the bottom bar there, and it also changes the Finder window. And you can also see there what it looks like with the various accent colors. It's nice that that choice is built in, and again, it's very easy to do. As we go through the settings menu or the appearance menu, there's a lot more that can be changed here. So in terms of in terms of what we're seeing here at the moment, you can see things like wobbly windows. Now, wobbly windows is a thing that was in Linux a while back and was a popular kind of tweak that you could download for Ubuntu. It's quite fun, but it's nice it's been included in there. You can also add icons onto the desktop if you so wish, and you can easily change the size of those icons if you so wish. Personally, I prefer not having icons on the desktop because I like to look at the well, I don't sit there just looking at the wallpapers, but I do like a nice clean desktop. You can also customize the fonts as well, and that includes the fonts for that you see on the bottom bar, as well as the fonts on the window decorations and things like that as well. Now, as you can see there, I've actually lowered the resolution for this test. I like to install these distributions and run them for a good few days whilst testing them out. So I actually installed them onto the laptop, and I had a lot of problems installing this on my Dell XPS, not just because I also have a Windows partition. That was fairly straightforward for me, but actually I think the biggest problem was to do with the NVIDIA 750M that I have in this laptop, and also the 4K or UHD screen that it comes with. For some reason, on the UHD full resolution, some of the icons don't look quite right under Zorin, and particularly when you're running the Mac OS theme, the Z in the corner looks quite squashed, which it doesn't if you change the resolution down. So what I've ended up doing also is to essentially change the resolution down on this screen. It still looks fine to me, looks really nice, and that has kind of kept the laptop in a safe place in terms of heat. I've brought up P sensor there on the right hand side so that you can see what kind of temperature is being run, the Dell is running at when I'm just scrolling through various windows in the settings, and these things are normally quite low taxing, but for some reason, as I say, I think it's possibly down to the high risk screen and the NVIDIA, that my CPU seemed to be running really hot, and I wasn't getting that issue when I ran Elementary and reviewed Elementary in a previous episode. There's also a lot of accessibility options in Zorin OS 16.1, which are really nice. Default applications is very easy to configure. You can choose what default applications you're going to use for things like email, for your web, just like Windows really. As you can see there, I'm running this additional Zorin OS on a Dell XPS, old school i7, and it's a decent laptop, but from 2014. So we're having a look at Firefox here, and what theme comes with Firefox, and it comes with giant text. Google search with giant text. Oh, I hate that giant text there. It just for a distribution that has so much polish and attention to detail, it's really weird to see that there. I think perhaps they should have gone with something like their own homepage or something along those lines, rather than that strange giant text Google page. Of course, you can change that for whatever launch page you want, but yeah, just a bit of an odd choice there by the Zorin OS development team for a homepage for Firefox. One of the other nice things as well is you can download other browsers really easily, and they're all there in the store. You can even download fully fledged Google Chrome if you so wish, via the store. It's available, so that's also really nice. So being as we're running in dark theme, let's have a look at some of these wallpapers. The wallpapers, really quite a nice selection there. Again, a bit like Elementary, I like the way the wallpapers sort of fade in and fade out as they swap around. I kind of prefer these kind of nice colourful wallpapers, although that's very nice, that wallpaper there. I'll probably stick with this one. And let's have a look at that. My eyes, that's just making me have a headache. Okay, yeah, I'll stick with that one there. So yeah, nice selection of wallpapers, and that's pretty cool. Good selection in terms of dark and light wallpapers. That's quite nice. So I'm kind of sticking with the default Zorin theme here with the bar at the bottom rather than the Mac theme. The reason for that is I found that even though I kind of prefer the Mac type dock at the bottom, I'm kind of coming back around to, especially when there's a lot of applications installed, to having so that I can search through the applications a little bit easier and they're categorized. I quite like the fact that they're categorized so I can easily find things. Particularly as some of these applications I want to try out a little bit more, and I haven't used before. As I say, it's come bundled with the Pro Edition, and yeah, it's a really nice selection of applications, particularly in the video and media selection. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so you can see the store there. The store's really nicely laid out. But what we're going to take a look at now is one of the built-in features of Zorin OS. And this is really interesting if you are a Windows user coming over to Linux. So I've actually already done this, but I'll show you what I did just to go through. This application is a Windows exe, a Windows application called Putty. It's used quite a bit by network engineers in who are troubleshooting networks. And as you can see, I've downloaded the Microsoft installer and it's launched the exe Windows installer without me having to do anything. And there's not been any configuration. Yes, I downloaded this earlier, but there's not been any sort of pre-configuration or any setup. It just works. And that's really nice. If we just check to see if the application actually launches, that would be great. And look at that. It just launches. A Windows application running within Linux with no tampering around with config files or any other sort of files. It just works. Now there is a wine configuration. Of course, this runs within a tool called Wine, which allows you to run Windows applications. It is available for most Linux distributions and can run generally on most Windows distributions, and you can configure that within. So as we sort of carry on this journey through Zorin OS, as you can see, my processors are still fairly warm. Again, what I like to do on these distributions as I review them is to stress them out a little bit, test them as if I was running them as if I was running them properly as my day-to-day operating system. And I actually put together this video using this distribution. So that's kind of the length I go to check that things work on these distributions. So here I am. I'm using Kdenlive, and as you can see, Kdenlive launched in next to no time at all. And as you can see, I'm dragging and dropping videos into the project bin there, and dragging them onto the timeline there. And it's all pretty easy. It all just runs. Kdenlive comes bundled with Zorin OS 16.1 Pro, and that's really great. Also OBS, Open broadcast software is also bundled with Zorin OS 16.1 Pro. So as well as what I'm recording this video on Cheese for recording your webcam footage. Zorin OS 16.1 Pro does come with a lot of decent applications, curated applications bundled in with it, and I'm certainly going to take a look at those applications a bit closer as and when I need them. I think it's a great list of applications. So the system itself, what do I think about the system itself? Well, I did notice some compatibility problems. Let's just take a look at the kernel version that we've got here, and we can see that the kernel version is a slightly older version, 5.13.0.39. We are currently on 5.17, I think it is, at the moment. The kernel version matters because it gives you extra hardware compatibility, and certain things just work a little bit better on newer kernel versions. For example, my Plantronics headset didn't work with Zorin, but other things did, like my Jabra microphone that I'm using here. So does it make the computer more reliable? Is it a serious alternative to Windows and Mac OS? My answer is yeah, I think it is. I think this operating system, the fact that you have Windows application support right out of the box, you can run exe files out of the box, that's just amazing. The fact that it runs at all under Linux is just amazing. Is Zorin OS 16.1 Pro worth it for £39? I bought it myself. When I bought it, it wasn't about buying a product. It was more about contributing to the development of this system, because I think it's actually a really good distribution, and the fact that they really have a lot of polish to the system, that everything from the website to the desktop is just polished. Would I recommend this distribution? I would recommend this distribution to any Windows users out there who are looking to try Linux, maybe for the first time. If they want something that's going to revive their old laptops, then this operating system, this distribution could well be it. Do they need to buy Pro? No, they could go with Core. But if you're a new user and you want to use the best curated Linux application, then I would choose Zorin OS 16.1. So that's about it from me and this review of Zorin OS 16.1 Professional. If you liked this review or any of the other reviews or videos on this channel, then please remember to hit like and subscribe. One of the things this channel is about reviving older laptops by utilizing and putting on Linux instead of Windows. So if you would like me to review any other Linux distributions out there, then please feel free to add them to the comments down below. I'd love to hear your suggestions. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.